Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be doing a channeled love letter from your divine masculine. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead. Hi, Group 1. You chose this letter, which I'll read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some oracle cards to do a quick energy check with your divine masculine, see what's going on with them right now, or thoughts and feelings about you and the connection that want to come through. And then I'll read the letter and get into some message cards that can either reinforce what comes through in this first part of the reading or can serve as additional words and phrases from their higher self. And then I'll close the reading out with some initials. Okay, so we have sea serpent, firefly, zebra, swan, turtle, and moth. So there's a sense here with your divine masculine that they may be coming through the other side of some deep introspection, deeply embedded kind of emotional wounds and issues, a lot of shadow work. And instead of kind of fighting against the grain of the current of sort of what it is they've discovered there's the essence here that this person has sort of become the light within themselves, maybe no longer seeking outside validation or approval, or even kind of stuffing away, suppressing, and denying aspects of themselves that they've been very uncomfortable with. They haven't really found a place or an outlet within sort of interpersonal relationships or the life that they've built for themselves to express certain qualities, parts about kind of the emotional nature of who they are that maybe they never really learned to process. So it was almost just kind of stuff it and forget it and kind of move forth, which it feels like has compounded into almost something that is very unmanageable. And there may have been a tower moment, a series of tower moments, something that really compelled them to kind of retreat deeply within, almost having no choice but to kind of take ownership or responsibility for circumstances in their life, actions that have led to consequences. It feels like with kind of this mirrored energy with the swan here, that there's a lot of focus as well as far as these components, these kind of unchecked or unprocessed or shadows within themselves that they had almost looked at as adversaries, that they've kind of made friends with these aspects of themselves. They're starting to see how this has impacted, either through kind of halting the progress between the two of you or creating some kind of wedge or barrier, or maybe even something that made them kind of run or disconnect, even just pull back their energy from you in the connection. They're definitely equating what it is that they've discovered inside, what they're learning to kind of embrace wholeheartedly about themselves, and linking that very consciously to sort of shortcomings in how they've been able to show up in the connection with you up to this point in time. So there's a sense of a lot of balance that has been achieved at this point in time. This is breakthrough energy that can definitely signal kind of a pivot forward from this point, maybe of this person circling back around to you if you're in a no contact situation, or even the nature of your energetic exchange if you're still in communication with one another, becoming more consistent, almost more interest or enthusiasm, or sort of the nature of what they're able to display or give to you. It reveals a level of self-awareness, intensity, or consistency that maybe was lacking or was a bit choppy before. They've come home to themselves in some in some capacity. They've learned to love themselves and kind of accept what they have found, buried within sort of this subconscious space, deeply within the shadow. And it is from this place of kind of loving both the positive and negative qualities of themselves, or at least coming to a place of acceptance about things that might be difficult to deal with, or that they're still in the process of sort of figuring out how to harness these shadows as a source of personal empowerment, rather than allowing these things to be kind of destructive elements within themselves that undermine the nature of their relationships with others, with you, with themselves. There's a sense here of moving more into a place of being a work in progress, but learning to accept that about themselves, or they've come to sort of fully accept that about themselves, which it feels like will facilitate sort of a greater degree of reciprocity with you. A lot more patience on this person's part for any sort of triggering that may occur in the future, because they've learned to really have patience with themselves. Again, it's the essence of kind of no longer seeking outside validation or answers that they have found outside of themselves, or belief systems that have been templated or patterned through their childhood upbringing, the life that they are living, kind of the world around them, and sort of what the status quo is up to. There's a sense of them really kind of discovering a personal truth within that is very singular, deeply resonates on a level that maybe beliefs or practices or just a view of who they were before, it never really fit very sufficiently with kind of this unchecked aspect of the shadow. And it feels like they've transcended some barrier, to where it's not so much what other people think of them, it's what they think of themselves. And from that place of loving themselves, it feels like they're gearing up to give something more to you in this connection, to pour more into the situation, or just show up more authentically to you, because they've reached a place of kind of crossing a threshold or a milestone, a breakthrough sort of energy in really authentically kind of accepting what it is that they found there, and sort of mapping out, it feels like, a plan of action as well, to perhaps start to work with some of the things that they've discovered, find outlets, ways to process these things, channel that into some kind of, something more productive than just letting it sort of simmer within, maybe even creative outlets that what they've discovered in the shadow is sort of inspiring within. So it feels like very healthy and positive change at this particular point in time with your divine masculine. So let's see what the letter says, what they want you to know right now. Ride with me these waves of love that I sense have engulfed us both, despite the chasm which separates our flesh. I feel you as eternity, formed into something inviting that sees me for who I truly am, despite the personality I have gathered up like a cocoon around me. I am boundless in your presence, and flowing now beyond the vast and shapeless dreaming which has kept me suspended in time. I am ready to break ground upon a new layer of our ability to connect to one another, and this is because I have heard and answered the call, acknowledging with all that I am that love has no other name except yours and mine. I can taste you so vividly, and it is the pull of that long-awaited kiss which changes everything, which motivates me to no longer sit and watch my life pass me by through a series of accomplishments, but to stand up, move forth as my most authentic self, and trust in the new direction which beckons me. You are the light, and you are the sheltering darkness. You are the pure reflection of 1,000 memories I never knew how to decipher or explain. You reinforce my belief in self when I struggle to stay the course, and you are my inevitable destiny I welcome and step into with an open heart. So let's see what else your divine masculine wants you to know at this time. Okay, and they say, I let my fears get the best of me. I realize now what I did was wrong. I can't commit to you right now. You always know what to say to make me feel better. I'm frustrated with myself. And I know we are soulmates. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your divine masculine, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got A, G, S, C, E, M, B, N, L, U, G, W, P, T, D, O, V, I, F, K, and A. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and assorted channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn, where I do channeled message readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me and that sounds interesting, I invite you to check that out, and there's a link to that channel in the description box of the video. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose this letter, which I'll read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some oracle cards to do a quick energy check-in with your divine masculine, see what's going on with them right now, any thoughts and feelings that want to come up about you and the connection, and then I'll read the letter and then get into some standalone message cards that can either reinforce what comes through in the first part or serve as additional words and phrases for you from their higher self, and then I'll close the reading out with some initials. We have firefly, tiger, lizard, zebra, earthworm, and scorpion. So there's an energy here of your divine masculine actively working to alchemize pain, wounding, scars from their past experiences in their life or experiences in love, maybe previous cycles of rejection or some kind of lingering wounds from young love, early love, a significant connection in their life kind of prior to meeting you, or even circumstances that have occurred between the two of you in the past. Things that you might have said or done, things that they said or did, that sort of created a wedge or barrier between the two of you, or that they carry some sort of guilt or shame in regards to. And rather than sort of moving in a place of being very fractured inside of themselves, and therefore kind of fragmented in how they are able to show up for you in the connection, or even kind of enthusiastically for their life in general. There's a sense of really owning what has occurred and making concerted effort to take wisdom and lessons from the experiences, close certain chapters or doors to their life, maybe even cutting off toxic connections or some kind of affiliation to a jadedness that has occurred from wounds that have been sustained in love, a sense of almost an individual who might be kind of scared or guarded, afraid to be hurt in love again, and so it has deprived you and this connection up to this point in time of almost the full experience of what this person is capable of in terms of romance, in terms of their capacity to not just give love but receive love in return. And it feels like they've kind of reached a breaking point. Enough is enough. They can't go on in the same sort of cycles, or they're recognizing either that a window of opportunity with you is closing, or there's a fear that kind of these wounds, these scars, these shadows within, if they haven't already undermined the connection, they could even be reflecting on sort of other experiences in their past where the same sort of pattern reared its ugly head, and the opportunity for something good soured, and things fell apart. And so it speaks to a degree of emphasis and importance on kind of making themselves better, or putting something to rest within themselves so that they're able to experience the fullness of the possibilities between the two of you, either creating some sort of reconciliation, sort of returning towards you with evidence either outwardly spoken of, or just an obvious sort of shift in their demeanor, in their energy, and in their willingness to participate in the connection that can be apology in the form of changed action. Or if this is a connection where you're still with this individual, this is almost the sense of gearing up to sort of give more to the situation, let you in closer, or even kind of move into a place of fully surrendering to and trusting in kind of the beautiful potential between the two of you, for this experience to be something very healthy and constructive, as opposed to sort of comparing this situation from what they've experienced in their past, which might have been a lot of let down, heartbreak, things that were very difficult to sort of move beyond, that it feels like had somehow shaped or undermined their view of themselves, self-esteem, self-worth, and even kind of had left a skepticism about kind of what you were offering in love, or even love in general, as something that can be kind of a force for creation. This is someone who might have really experienced love or romance and partnership as a largely destructive force, either bringing out the worst in them or magnetizing in partners that kind of mirrored some degree of toxicity. So this feels to be the energy of kind of a masculine stepping more into a full embodiment of that divine masculine principle, actively and consciously going in to sort of cauterize some wounds, toxic thinking, or even just kind of the residual scars and the way in which they have been shaped or reformed kind of in a way that they are not happy with, not proud of, as a result of experiences from their past in love and partnership. So let's see what they want you to know right now from their higher self. You have modeled for me gentle strength. You are fierce, and you are compassion in the truest sense. There have been dark nights that have swallowed me whole, and within a cavern of the corridors of my own feared and loathsome reflection, I have realized my ability to embrace more than simply the pleasing and easy components of who I am, thanks to your energy which has kept vigil with me as I struggled to claw my way beyond despair. I have always felt out of place within this world, and I have done extreme and regretful things just to feel real. With you, I no longer feel the need to seek redemption, because your eyes speak the truth that all is forgiven. I have never known love before, only what it is to be wanted and used. I have been run aground on many occasions. I have struggled to find meaning in the simplest of things, and with you, this questioning and bouts of apathy finally settle into the mosaic of who I am, fidgeting less, so that the piece of the totality of all my pieces can be held rather than judged. There are times when I swear you can read my mind, and this level of intimacy is exactly what I have been needing. Thank you for undressing the mystery of love with me throughout all of my days and nights. So let's see what else your divine masculine wants you to know right now from their higher self. Okay, and they say no one compares to you. It's hard for me to trust people. You always know what to say to make me feel better. You are my forever love. I know we belong together. And I sabotaged our connection out of insecurity. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your divine masculine, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got N, M, H, A, T, V, L, U, H, B, W, D, A, R, C, E, P, U, R, and N. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and assorted channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn, where I do channeled message readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me and are interested in checking that out, there's a link to that channel in the description box of the video. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose this letter, which I'll read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some oracle cards to do a quick energy check with your divine masculine, see what's going on in their life right now, or any thoughts and feelings that want to come through about you and the connection. And then I'll read the letter and get into some standalone message cards that can either reinforce what comes through in the first part of the reading or can serve as additional words and phrases for you from their higher self. And then I'll close the reading out with some initials. Hi, Group 3. You chose this letter, which I'll read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some oracle cards to do a quick energy check-in with your divine masculine, see what's going on in their life right now or any thoughts and feelings that want to come through about you and the connection. And then I'll read the letter, and I will also pull some standalone message cards that can either reinforce what comes through in the first part or serve as additional words and phrases for you from their higher self. And then I'll close the reading out with some initials. Okay, we have otter, hummingbird, lamb, lizard, moth, and cobra. So there's a sense here that your divine masculine is going through some transformative period on their spiritual path, ascension journey, maybe even life changes that might be the result of a degree of self-reflection, almost them coming to a point of realizing that something needs to change, something needs to give, they need to start to take more personal responsibility for themselves or align more deeply, kind of with a bigger sense of meaning and purpose. There's a sense here of kind of distancing themselves from toxic connections, things that have kind of run their course, things that sort of take up their energy or fill their time, but don't really hold much meaning and value. This is the energy of somebody who is seeking a greater sense of purpose within themselves, within their life, within the company that they are keeping. And they are being almost exercising kind of a form of tough love, different boundaries that are being set in place that may be really shaking up a lot of their interpersonal connections. They might also be on the brink of some decisions about big life changes that could involve kind of a total transformation in the identity that they have kind of moved through the world with, how people have known them, the life that they have constructed for themselves. And it's a sense of almost starting from square one, kind of initiating or instigating voluntary tower moments in their life in the interest not just of a destructive energy or self-sabotage, but it's almost the sense of them realizing that they may have been settling or had become kind of complacent, or that there's something more they're meant to do, something more that's out there for them that may involve going on some kind of journey or quest, relocating, restructuring kind of the nature of their outward reality to match some kind of vibration of clarity that has been reached within, or like a call that has come from within the heart, from the soul level, from the higher self level, that is kind of beckoning them to alter the course and direction of their life, a future they were navigating toward, sort of the idea of their North Star having been adjusted in some way. It feels that there might be a lot of mirrored energy with this, the sense of you could be in separation from this person, or even if you're in a connection with one another, there's a sense of you might also be at kind of a turning point in your own sort of life journey, life experience, choosing to sort of submerge yourself more in a spiritually based lifestyle, or recommit to, or even make alterations to your particular spiritual path, beliefs, the way in which you're living your life, the people you're surrounded with, just all little details inside and out kind of being inventoried at this point in time. And though it may look very different for the two of you, there is a sense of walking this parallel path with one another, towards a life of more meaning, more value, more substance, pouring more into yourselves in order to be able to perhaps give back and help others as well. This is light worker, way shower energy. So this may even be something that, if you resonate as that, your divine masculine may have come to a place of resonating with that kind of idea or ideology within themselves as well. And rather than just sort of holding on to this as an ambiguous kind of title, there's the sense of, what do I do with this? How do I apply that? Not just in the vibration that I'm putting out or that I've kind of cultivated within, but what can I do in order to sort of take practical steps in my life to make the world around me a better place than it currently is, or almost kind of looking toward more long-term goals of, what is the legacy that I'm leaving behind, and will the world in a small or large way be positively impacted and after the experience of kind of my earthly journey, or is there something more that I could do in order to contribute to kind of future generations, or again the idea of like a legacy that might be left behind in a long-term sense. So let's see what they want you to know right now from their higher self. My whole body vibrates with the echo of things to come. Between us, there is no need for secrecy, and I am grateful that you are the one I have the privilege of exploring forever with, here and now. I have searched in vain for meaning outside of myself. Your love calls me home to the place inside, where truth lingers since before the dawning of time. We were made for each other. I see that now. It has always been you that has compelled me towards bright and wondrous experiences, instinctually hoping to catch a glimpse of you, a face and eyes I have dreamed of since I was a child. I am raising myself up in order to walk with you along the path called love, which you forge with the very nature of your being. I am so attracted to your complexity and your contradictions, and there is no one else I am willing to share my life with. You know what to say to calm the raging seas inside me, and you know when I require the solitude of my own thoughts without taking offense. You are the breath of life and the conclusion of my search for love. With you, I find everything that is healthy and nourishing, and I choose to keep evolving into deeper and more intricate manifestations of the force of love alongside you. So let's see what else your divine masculine wants you to know right now. And they say, you feel like home to me. I can't wait to have you in my arms again. A lot has changed. You are my heaven on earth. I have a surprise for you. And you are always in my dreams. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your divine masculine, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We have T, E, V, R, I, K, C, B, Y, G, I, O F J L W S P and H. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and assorted channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn, where I do channeled message readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that's the place to find it. And there's a link to that channel in the description box of the video as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.